We like sports and we don't care who knows. Oh, he got it!
My name's Brandon Phoenix. I'd like to welcome you to the Raspy Voice Kids podcast. I think it's important to note that from here on out, you might hear things that you like. In fact, you're probably going to hear things that you don't like. And what that means is you're going to have to remember in the back of your mind, when you hear things that make you feel happy, and even more importantly, when you hear things that you don't like, things that make you feel maybe angry or even sad, always go back to that part in your mind where you remember that I too hate Pitt. Remember that. Keep that in focus. We're on the same team. And the reason that's important is because there was a time in my life where I did not hate Pitt. And that is not monumental. That is not earth-shattering because I've always loved West Virginia. There was I remember growing up, there was a place in West Virginia, there was a bar where I would go past as a kid, and it had this sign that was painted literally on the side of the bar that said "Beat Pitt." And I remember thinking, who in the world cares about beating Pitt? Because for me growing up, Pitt was nothing. I wanted to beat Michael Vick and Virginia Tech. I wanted to beat the U. You know, I wanted to beat the big boys. I wanted to beat the teams that mattered. And for me, Pitt never mattered. But it all changed. And everybody listening knows the moment it changed. And we will never speak about that specific night. We will not talk about exactly when that changed. But you all know when it did. And if you don't know when it did, you're not a real Mountaineer fan. And your opinion does not count about anything. But that is the night that I became a real Mountaineer. And that is the night that I understood what my father and my uncles and all real Mountaineers that came before me meant when they said beat Pitt and when they said they hate Pitt. And that is the night that I decided that I also hated Pitt. And I'm a Raspy Voice kid now. I was born a Raspy Voice kid. My brothers are Raspy Voice kids. Our friends called us Raspy Voice kids. We didn't know it. But what we are more than anything is Mountaineer brothers. We grew up in Parkersburg, West Virginia. We had allegiance to certain teams that our father indoctrinated us with. But there's nothing more near and dear to our hearts than West Virginia football and basketball and really anything West Virginia. That includes rifle and soccer, volleyball, basketball, baseball, anything with that flying WV. Really, that's the truth. And so I don't care about anything but West Virginia sports. And you can talk to me about anything else and you can try to make me care, but I don't care about anything but West Virginia sports. And part of what that means is that I hate everything that is connected to the Panther. And even though we don't play them anymore, I love it when they lose. And I will relish every loss they have. And the reason is because they never did anything productive for us. It wasn't just that they were our nemesis. They also were a point of negativity for our entire conference. If you look back on our existence when we were in the Big East, we, of course, won 3 BCS championships. We were what buoyed the Big East, and they were the ones who would beat those who were in contention for something glorious and then never did anything that would boost us. But really, this is not the I Hate Pitt podcast. This is not the I Also Hate Pitt podcast. This is about West Virginia. And I just want you all to know that I know who and what we are. I know who and what you are. I grew up in West Virginia. I grew up in the hills of West Virginia. I understand the structure of our state. I understand the politics of our state. I understand the sports. I understand what it means to be a Mountaineer. And there are people who come and go. I understand what it means to always be a Mountaineer. I know what it means that once you are born here, once you are bred here, that it never leaves. I don't care what you put on your back. I don't care what you put on your head. Once you're a Mountaineer, you're always a Mountaineer. And there are people who come here. There are people who represent our state. There are people who put on the old gold and blue, who think that they get it, who don't fully understand. And I don't begrudge them. I don't fault them. I'm not mad at them. But they can never fully understand it. And I watch them suit up. I watch them believe that they understand the emotion that we as fans have, that we as a state of about 1.8 million have. But I know, like you know, that they will never understand what it really means to be a West Virginia Mountaineer. Not because they don't want to, but because they can't. And that's what this podcast is about. My brothers and my friends and I will discuss what it means to be a Mountaineer, what it means to fully understand what West Virginia sports is all about, what we're looking forward to, what our hopes and dreams are, and what you as listeners are anticipating, expecting, and dreaming of. And we're not pretending that we are the experts. We're not pretending that we know more than anybody else, but we are ready and willing to discuss all things that any Mountaineer has ever wanted to discuss. And we invite you along for the ride. Let's go Mountaineers. Let's go drink some beers. Hey, no matter what I do, no matter how annoyed, no matter how frustrated, no matter how angry you get, remember, I also hate Pitt.